So glad to sit down with you. I don't get a chance to run into you as often as I'd like. I know you, no one, my listeners. So I'd love it if you could introduce yourself and talk a little bit about, your business.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Komal Devjani, and I am the founder of Revya AI. We help beverage brands recover deductions that are invalid, and also help plan out what the revenue cycle is going to be like for the year.
And that's I think one of those things where people don't pay enough attention to it. I talk to so many founders and they're like, I might have to hire a clerk just to go through my UNFI deductions with a ruler. And I might have to pay them $85,000 to do it, but they recovered $200,000 in bullshit for me.
Yeah.
So how does the platform work?
So the platform essentially replaces the clerk that you would hire. And instead of someone manually going through and identifying which deduction might be valid, identifying the evidence associated with it, the platform has everything coming in together. So it can automatically pull your deductions, validate them, and then whatever's invalid, we go and dispute it.
So it'll pull it from the KeHE porthole or something like that?
Exactly. It'll pull it from the KeHE portal. You can have an inbox set up where you send all of your UNFI remittances, and then you just send us your promo calendars, your BOLs, your PODs, and our system will compile everything together and make sure that you're not overpaying on your deductions.
Because that's the real bummer is those guys will eat you to death with these little ticky-tacky deductions, half a percentage point for spoilage, this for that, these deals, promos that you didn't run.
I'm going to tell you, for every $1 million a brand makes, they're potentially walking away from $80,000.
I don't doubt it. Yeah, I don't doubt it.
They're recoverable deductions.
No, and then you've got to have, and that's it's such a tedious job for a human, because I would talk to people and it's if you're not detail-oriented and focused, you're not going to have fun using a ruler to go through a phone book to find the sketchy stuff.
Yeah, and also no matter how detailed you are, right, at the end of the day, you're human, right, and you're going to be only going after something that's really big dollar amount, and all the smaller ones just kind of get slipped away because no one has the bandwidth to go and chase $50 that might be invalid.
Yeah. Well, I'm lucky. I've got an accounting team that has OCD, so if it doesn't match, it gives them nightmares.
Yeah, that's lucky.
But how do you then recover it? I imagine a human has to then get involved with UNFI to flag an issue.
Yeah, exactly. So our initial dispute process is automated, but then if the dispute comes back as no, we think it's valid, or look at section 6.3 to see why it's valid, we'll push again manually with our recovery specialists.
So it's unusual. So I talk to people all the time. It's you're never going to save your way to success. You got to create growth. But this is one of those where it's literally leaving money on the table.
Exactly. And if you're not looking at your deductions, if you're not looking at the cost of working with these retailers, you kind of don't know what you're walking away from and what your potential margin can be.
Yeah. I don't want to keep making UNFI the bad guy. We're just using them as an example.
No,
but
we love UNFI.
KeHE, all of them have this problem, and it's just because they're trying to do business at scale, and it's messy.
It's messy, it's manual, and things always slip through the cracks. We've done deductions audits for some of the brands that we work with, and we've found over $44,000 that was recoverable in just 3 months.
Well, that's the issue, because every founder I talk to is oh God, we got to raise more money. Raising money is so hard. And it's you might have too many leaks in your boat. If you can plug the holes in your boat, you won't have to raise money every year.
Yeah, exactly. And CPG is one of those businesses where having a good cash flow is really going to make or break your business, right? And a lot of CPG brands, they just use deductions as a write-off. I want to keep growing, I want to keep building, as opposed to looking at what I'm already spending. And I think that's wasted potential and wasted possibilities, because that's a whole production run you can use that fund towards.
Yeah. Well, and then I think there's sometimes you said it, we don't need that clerk anymore. People get squeamish, but it's I've got people working on stuff that is higher level than going through those processes.
Exactly.
And if I could free them to work on more high level stuff, then it would just be better for everybody.
Yeah, I think that a lot of these people want to work on more strategic initiatives and help push the business forward. But because they're bogged down in spreadsheets and this crazy backlog of deductions that they need to clear, they sometimes don't get around to actually working on those interesting strategic initiatives that they really want to work on.
Yeah, no, and you know better than I do. You're closer to me, but I know for a fact most of the entrepreneurs I talk to, they're they might be getting us for an extra couple $1,000s. It's just not worth fighting for it. It's just not worth chasing it.
Yeah.
And it's but over 5 years, that could be $250,000.
Yeah, but not just that. Not just that. Over 5 years, you have such a large data set of patterns of the ways in which you can potentially renegotiate with your distributor, you can renegotiate with your retailer, and actually implement changes that are going to affect you at scale. So whatever you're losing right now in 500 doors, imagine the scale when you hit 50,000.
Yeah, no, for real. And then, how does it work then? And like, how does for the entrepreneurs that are listening?
Yeah.
Like, how do they sign up? How do they get started? What's the revenue model?
So first thing you do is go on Revya AI and book a demo. You will see exactly how Revya works and how it'll affect your specific processes. And then we'll bring you on board. We'll take your portal data, we'll take your VOLs, your PODs, and show you exactly what's recoverable.
And your revenue model, not that you have to explain rates, but is it like a monthly subscription, or is it based on velocity or volume of transaction?
Yeah, so our product is actually a software product, and we have a managed service that's layered on top of it.
Is that SaaS?
It's SaaS.
I love SaaS.
Yeah, so you get a SaaS fee, and then on top of that, a managed service fee, which is just a percentage of whatever we recover back.
No, I mean, I without looking at the numbers, I can already tell myself I know it's worth it because I've seen how much money a good clerk can get.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with some of these like distributors is they tell you that they take an 8%, and then you add in all of the deductions that they took from you illegally. It's like, this is actually 13%.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Huh. And how long have you guys been doing this?
We've been doing this for 2 years. So we just came out of closed beta, already working with 30 brands, and super excited to keep going.
It's incredible. So I've been talking to Danny, and I are working with a group called Spring Cash, and they use AI to do PO financing. So their model will run through like the business's financials and transactions, and then they're able to sort of buy and sell POs at scale, and it's worked out really well. So, and I've seen a lot of examples of AI that I'm like, well, that's a parlor trick. But what you're talking about is actually really interesting. What he's talking about is actually really interesting, and it's cool to see like real world applications that can actually drive your business. Like I looked at one, and it was basically a process where you bought your data from Circana.
Yep.
And then you gave the AI tool Circana, and then it gave you slides. And I'm like, well, that's like a trick.
Yeah,
like, I could have looked at it and made slides. Like,
yeah.
But what you're doing is actually really like sort of revenue preservation.
Yeah, and I mean, truth be told, right? It's not all AI, right? There is actual like technology underneath it that's like doing parsing.
You're not
doing
Waymoing,
rejects.
are you? You're not using a driver in Philippines to fix problems. Okay. Meanwhile, she's got a room full of leprechauns trying to tell me it's software.
Exactly. No, but we do have recovery analysts. So there is someone that is spot checking all the deductions that parse through and make sure that the software is not picking up any bugs that are on the document. So things are being controlled and maintained on our end, but it's not like going to Philippines.
So you've got 30 customers now. You're on your way to 300. Then you're on your way to 3,000. Has UNFI, KeHE, any of these guys had an opinion about your business?
Not that I've heard of, no.
Got it.
No.
Something tells me you'll be on their radar soon.
Well,
but it's fair is fair.
If I'm on their radar, that's a great problem.
Yeah, that's my whole thing. Is like fair is fair.
Fair
like
is fair,
if
yeah.
it was legitimately in error, and your business legitimately makes errors all day long, isn't it great that someone is traffic copying it?
Yeah, exactly. I'm actually helping you out, so you don't have to go looking for your backup, and like we can just reconcile it, hear it, and be done with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I do understand your position, right? KeHE and UNFI, if they hear about it, maybe you think that they might change their processes, but you know,
They're like, hey, lady, you cost us 10% last year.
yeah, in invalid deductions. I'm so sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Well, because what you and I are calling a bug, they call a feature.
Exactly. And I mean, that's how they. I mean, not to say anything bad, but that is
it's the nature of the beast.
That is part of their revenue process, right? They do have to charge deductions, and some of it are valid, like according to contractual terms that they've agreed to. Everyone does eventually need to get paid for the service that they provide, but we just want to make sure that it's fair.
Yeah, no, and to be honest, like sometimes it's the retailer that's gaming the system as well.
Exactly.
And
taking advantage of the power dynamics. And
I don't think anyone's operating in bad faith, but it's
No.
an issue that needs to be addressed, and so far no one's addressed it.
Yeah, and there needs to be someone on the brand side actually supporting the brands as well.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you've restored my faith in AI. It was all parlor tricks until I met you in Spring.
Well, good. I'm glad.
Awesome. Thanks for sitting down with us. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Dino.